time going live on the
Live.
Victory Formation podcast. What's up, YouTube? You're trying something new, you know what I'm talking about? But
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm live. This is sick.
here we go. So Eddie, post game, say what's up to the people, man. What is what are we excited about tonight, man? Cowboys win 17-7. With a good game thrown by the offense, and even better game. Well, better game in my mind thrown by the defense, considering what's going on and the PTSD we had from last year. This was a pleasant surprise. Tell me what you like.
What I liked was I know we got to kind of temper our excitement from this because it's a glorified practice, but I think we built off of what we were doing against the Rams. I think the defense was working on communication. The first couple drives, the the ball was moving, but the defense was kind of holding tight, right?
Yeah,
The linebackers were making plays all over the place. Our defensive line was making plays in the run game. I was really excited. At first play of the game, first play, Ravel almost took that pick six. If he
he
would
was
have turned
ready,
his head and saw the ball, he was right
man.
there.
And he said that too. Like I like this quote this week where he said, man, after going up against our guys in practice, going against the Rams was kind of easy. And he showed that in this game. Like he saw that play and he went after it. And I'm like, man, like for him, with a few games under his belt, that's a pick six because now he's going to recognize stuff more.
Yeah. I think he's getting the experience will catch up with his talent. I think now his talent is showing up, and like the
Yeah.
more reps that he's getting in practice, and just like what you just said, practicing against the best in the game can only make you better, right? My dad taught me that. He said you're not going to get fast until you start practicing against people that are faster than you.
That's how it
Just
was.
exactly the same.
So my initial thoughts beginning of the game was same old Cowboys. Seahawks
Uh,
got the ball, came like marched directly down the field, man. I'm talking about first drive. And then we had our dumb penalties. One was on third down, is the Carson like pass interference, his first penalty of the game of many he had, but it was a pass interference on third down. Then we let Drew Lock run for like 6 yards on 3rd and 5, another thing. And then we had a face mask penalty that got him down there. And then, man, and so it's like Cowboys, boom, 7-0. And I was like, here we go. And then we got the ball, immediate 3 and out. I was like, this is a replay of last season. And I'm not crazy. I'm not, oh, we're gonna suck this year because of that. I'm just saying that is what we saw all last season. So to see that in the first two drives is very disheartening, but they turned it around.
the I think the first drive I know it was I don't know if we had expectations of that they were gonna just stop him and three and out. Remember this is a practice. The Rams did the
Yeah.
same thing against them. But the simple fact that when we started kind of freaking out, I think myself and I think another person too in the Discord was just like, hey, we're not even going to see most of these guys playing in any games at all. Like almost, if we looked at who was on those field, I think there was like one or two guys that were maybe going to get some sort of snaps in those first couple.
Leofold's gonna
And
be a pro bowler. I don't know what you're talking
mm,
about.
Leah foul in the first drive. I mean, we pointed it out it was like three or four plays in a row where
Yeah.
he was on skates and then he would get lost. And
Man.
he's really playing out of position in this defense.
Yeah.
Like he's a 4-3 outside linebacker. He's an off ball linebacker, and we just don't have that. He's not heavy enough to try and set the edge like he's doing. They're eating him up. And
Yeah.
then when the ball does go away from him, he just gets eaten up. He's not like making any plays. And then I think when we started complaining about it, then all of a sudden he made a play about like right away, like he came around the edge and caught the
Oh
running
yeah,
back.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
that was when nobody was putting any hands on him. He can make a play. I just don't see him making this team at
So
all.
who else? So who else? And then, before I move on, and then to be fair, our defense, right after we had a 3 and out, then we forced them into a 3 and out. So they
Yeah.
calmed down after that first drive. In fact, they had a very, very good stat about this. Giving up that opening drive touchdown. The opening drive was 80 yards. Their
Mm-hmm.
next 7 drives was 76 yards total, and they had 3 red zone trips the Seahawks did at no points. 3 red zone trips, no points.
What
Especially the
what's
goal line stands. So the defense bounced back.
what's crazy to me is that like if we go back and look at it, I bet you the numbers coincide with when we pulled Toya out of there because Toya was I don't know what type of teddy bear he is, bro, but he is like the
He is
biggest
so big. It's
marshmallow in there, bro.
like when we
But
just
he
sit down. Like if I'm him, I'm gonna to hire some sumo wrestlers to teach me how to just stay grounded. I'm like,
something,
he just get
something.
man. Anyway, who else?
But
Who
I
else do
mean,
you think did good?
James played pretty good. James was all over
That's
the place.
James Houston. That's James Houston.
Well, no. I'm talking about the linebacker James. James Houston played really good too. I'm talking about our middle linebacker James,
Shamar James.
Jamar
Man,
James.
that's still James. James Houston, you still my boy,
But
man. Even
James
though Eddie
Houston.
don't,
But if you're talking
even though
about
Eddie
James,
don't love you, I still love you, man.
hey, no, I got James Houston down here later because
Yeah.
James Houston he wasn't just somebody that kind of flashed in the very beginning. He
Yeah.
had constant pressure off of the edge, and
Yep.
he
Several
was
times I
setting the
saw that.
edge.
He didn't get the
He
sack, but
got
yeah.
he got two holding penalties called on him. He stopped that play on the goal line when
Hmm.
he got called for that penalty. And I just James Houston, I think, gave us the ability to not have to sign or reach for any
Like
DNs or
like
anything like
Von
that.
Miller and the Von Millers and
Uh,
the clown. Well, clown is on Houston.
I'm talking Clowney. I think that Clowney was. I think they were saying Clowney was going to get signed, but remember in the end of
Yeah.
the year, he's like,
Yeah. He
I
was
want
like,
to
I want to
sign
be
right
here. I want to
away.
be here.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think that James Houston gave us the luxury of being able to be like, you know what, we can kind of just put him in. We drafted two defensive ends. We're going to get him in here, and then
Yeah.
another couple of guys. I think Barron was kind of making plays all over the place again in coverage. He was all over the place. He a couple plays he was just a tick late, but he was
Yeah.
right there to make the play. Like if he was just a little bit earlier, he would have been making plays on the ball. Carson, you already called out Carson. He was getting tested all night. The thing about Carson was is like I think he's a fighter, right? Like he didn't just get down on himself when he got those penalties because he came right back and made a play right after that, and
Yeah.
then like he'd
Exactly.
make a
Yeah.
penalty, then he'd make
Yep.
another play and like make it. So
He's
I
a
think he's
roller coaster
fighting for
tonight.
his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want somebody to fight for you. You make a mistake and you learn from it and fight from it. And
Yep.
I mean, we'll talk about our special team mistake at the very end of the game too. But
Man, I had
another
such
guy,
high hopes for him.
Malachi Lawrence, he kind of looked lost out there. He looked like a rookie, and I'm not going to blame him. This is his first NFL taste of these big, huge, fast NFL players coming from a smaller school. I think
Yep.
he just needs some time, and I think we
He'll
have the
be all right.
luxury of being able to bring him along and
Yeah.
not have to
Like
play him so
we're
much
not
right away.
counting on him to start and get 10 sacks this just to start the season.
No,
So
no.
we're good in that.
And I think that a lot of other teams, if you're drafting a defensive end in the first round, you're expecting him to kind of step in and make some plays, right? Bain
Yeah.
in that same spot getting drafted is expected to, I mean, be the sack master in for the Bucks. I mean, so I don't think we need him, Malachi, that
You
much.
know who didn't look
What,
good?
what,
Sonny Styles for the Washington Sea Word. He looked terrible.
woo
Someone made
I
a
saw
whole
that.
tweet of all his plays, and he was just even the ones where it wasn't even his fault. He still looked like like he's in the middle, and they throw a quick out. He still was like looking unsure of where to go. Like it was funny. Anyway,
You know
I'm
what?
glad
That kind of
Lawrence didn't look that bad.
it reminded me of Kenneth Murray last year. Like
Oh,
kind of in the right
ah,
place, but just not. You know what I mean? Like
but
right
that's
there.
bad because Kenneth Murray's been in the league like 6 years. He shouldn't be looking like that at this
Yeah,
point. So
you're right. You're right.
anyway,
But it was good to not that we're rooting against him, but kind of. But still, it was
I
kind of
am.
good
I
to
want him
see.
to suck all year. I don't care. I don't care if he gets zero tackles, 0 sacks.
Lord,
Anyway,
that's how I was with Shadur this morning.
I
And
didn't mean to
then
cut you off. You can finish.
oh no, I just had one more. I think the our linebacker that was wearing the green dot, Robinson, number 42. He was making flash plays out there, and he was in the mix on almost every play. It's
Yeah,
just that the defensive line was on skates and they were in his path every
he was
single time
in.
he tried to make plays.
He was in. Man, I don't know, man. Toya might be
In the
pushing Quentin
quagmire,
Williams. Toya might be pushing Quentin Williams for a job.
maybe,
So we'll
maybe.
see.
Yeah. But yeah,
Let me
that's
see.
pretty much like the observation of some of the players that we can
Yeah,
go all day about the weaknesses that we kind of saw. It was
yeah,
just a practice game. I think we did a good job of getting out there and showing the coaches kind of what we have. That there was different situations throughout the games and throughout the game that
yep.
like there was a whole drive where we were just pounding the rock, just
Man, just
pounding it.
yeah, you can tell because
And
I
it was
remember
nice
he
to
had
see
it
those.
at a halftime. He was like, "We got to run the ball. We got to run."
Yeah,
Shotty. He's like, "We got to run," and they came out and they ran the ball. They ran the ball a lot in the second half,
yeah.
and not because
Did,
they were
did,
winning by 30 points. They were still within scoring distance, especially after your boy Holden decided to do some backward stuff, and so
that's what
it
I'm
wasn't
talking
like they
about.
were ahead by a lot. But they decided that they were going to run the ball anyway, and it worked.
I think, like I said, when you use these games for situations where you're not yeah, where you're not trying to win the game, you're
Yeah,
trying to say, okay, well, this
try stuff
we're going to
out.
use this as like a 4 minute offense and try to get down the field, or a 2 minute offense, and we're playing with a lead, and let's pound the rock here. So, I mean, what was really cool to see is that it's not just George Pickens that can catch those slants. Like
Oh yeah.
today, we saw
Mingo
some
caught one.
long
Yeah,
tooth slants. It was nice to see those.
man. I was like, is that Michael Irvin like talking to these young guys? Like, hey man, a slant is a good thing. Trust me, bro.
Dude, trust me. He's like, give me the ball. I'll get you 8 yards every time. But
Man,
we also had kind of a breakout receiver tonight that was. I think he's going to have a big special teams role in order to make this team, this 53, because we have such a good, strong wide receiver room this year.
yeah.
But I mean, as you pointed out earlier, this kid just had a game and a half. Let's check it out.
Camden Brown, 6'2",
Hold on,
204
let me
pounds.
rewind it to the beginning.
Howell sitting back there,
Foot in the ground, fires towards the end zone.
50 yards in the air. Damn.
Caught. And that is the rookie that they have been talking about in camp for Dallas.
And
Camden
when they actually been
Brown
talking about him, I mean, I've
wrestling
heard some stuff
with
about him, but I was
Shamar's
like,
Young
man, someone
Charles.
always
But the
flashes in
time's
camp
going to
who
go to the
disappears in the
offense. What a
preseason game.
reception by Camden
This time
Brown.
he did not disappear
Camden
in the
Brown,
preseason game.
6'2", 204
So it's right
pounds.
in this particular
Just went up and made
play.
the
Like when he made the
combat
play, we're like,
catch.
oh wow,
He
check
got
that
him
out.
fighting
Like
for
that, the
position right
Camp
there with the
Cinderella made the
corner.
play that we didn't think he was going to make,
Makes the
and
adjustment on
then
the
and
football and
then
goes up and grabs it.
later on
And
in the
again,
game,
we know
something
if
else
those,
happened
the
where it kind of switched gears, and you're like, wait a minute, why don't we just pull this kid out and stop playing this commercial for the rest of the league that's going to try and
Yeah,
steal
man.
him from our
Hold
practice
on.
squad if we can't sneak him
Let,
through, bro? This kid is sick. Cam, what was his name? Cameron Brown,
let's
Georgia State.
slow motion.
Ooh,
And it was,
that's
man,
an
like it just
NFL
stuck to
touchdown.
his
That's
arm.
a big boy catch right there.
Now, as good as that was, that throw was even better. Like you got
Yeah,
to
you got
watch
to
it.
give
Like
it
that
up.
was perfectly like it was high enough to get right over his hand, but low enough to where he could still have a chance to catch it. Like
Touch.
perfectly
That
thrown.
people do say that Milton doesn't have touch, and he did put
Yeah,
touch on that. You don't see that. That's one thing I mentioned right away. Is like, oh wow, you don't see goal line fades very much in the NFL anymore. Like
yeah.
for a little while, it was like that was the play, right?
Man, it was the
Because
play.
nobody could
Des
stop it,
Bryant made a
and then it
living off of
became
that.
the back shoulder, right off of the
Yeah,
goal
the
line
back
fade. It was
shoulder.
a back
Yep.
shoulder short throw, and now like there's so many things that they're doing. All of a sudden, they were like, hey, let's just throw that back. Let's throw the goal line fade and see if it's open. And it was a press coverage. He made a good play on it. Got open and made a hell of a both athletes.
Yep.
Ball, a throw and catch was a highlight. It
So
was
in
pretty
the
good.
first half, when Howell was going off, I was like, "That's it. He's our quarterback too." I was like, "Milton's going to have a second half, a hell of a half to make it a competition." And he came out and did it. He
Yeah, he
actually
did.
played very well. Like it wasn't like that one drive on that pass right there. It's that drive he ran it to perfection. Ran when he had to. Stayed in the pockets a couple times. You could tell he wanted to take off, but he was like, Coach told me to stay in the pocket and throw this ball. So he actually stood there and threw it, even though you could tell he wanted to take off. So that's like growth to me. Last year, he'd have taken off
Yeah.
almost on all those 2 seconds and gone.
Yeah, and we mentioned, the strength of his arm is ridiculous. You can see
Yeah.
like some of the routes where like these tight ends are breaking it off, and the ball's like already there. Like sometimes if you get open as a receiver, you're panicking because you're open. You don't feel the guy on
Yep.
you, and the ball's not to you yet. It's in the air. Somehow Milton's ball gets there just that much quicker. It helps the receiver be able to at least take control of the ball before he gets hit. Right.
Yep.
That's a big deal. But there has been some times where maybe he should have taken a little bit off because there
Hmm.
were like some 5 yard outs where he was just
Yep.
the receivers were like whoa, it was like an arrow going right by their head.
But you know who looked good together? Him and Trigg. Him and Trigg had a kind of a
Mm,
connection, man.
yeah.
And I'm like, Ferguson was looking at him side eye, like, so you can run after you catch the ball? Like you don't have to go immediately down for whatever yards you caught it at? Like that yard after catch thing that Trigg was doing, like, man, he even tiptoed down the side. I'm like, man, I haven't seen Ferguson do
Yeah.
that in I don't know how long. It's like first 2 years. So you better watch
And
out, man.
the thing about that too is we talked about our tight end room in the last pod, and I think it's Schoonmaker that needs to be really scared because
Yeah, he should.
Spanford,
Man.
Dak keeps saying Spanford's the best tight end on the team. He keeps saying that out loud,
Yeah.
right? Like not the
That's
best.
crazy.
He's saying that he's surprised at how the growth that Spanford made from last year to this year.
Yeah.
And if Trigg's making these plays right here, Schoon's got to get his insurance license or something.
Yep. That's it. So I would say overall, better than what I thought it was going to be. I had high hopes, but I tempered it because I'm like, it's just preseason. They're not going to show too much. Plus, we have to play Seattle again in the regular
Yeah.
season. So I didn't.
Vanilla.
So in my mind, I'm like, they're not going to show too much, no special anything, because when they're going to save those when they actually play them. And so I wasn't expecting too much, and they actually surprised me by doing better than I thought that they were going to do. Defense, let them go 80 yards first drive, touchdown. No more points for the rest of the game. The next 7 drives was less than that one drive. That's how good it was. They showed up on third down. They showed up on goal line. They showed up on fourth down.
Two
No,
goal line
no
stands, right?
turnovers. Huh?
Two goal line stands, right? There
Yep.
was two of them.
Two.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
And so they were in the red zone 3 times. One was
Hmm.
a missed field goal, and then, no. Yeah. One
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
missed field
They
goal,
did.
and then two turnovers on down. And so, I mean, no turnovers, but that's I can live with that as long as we
Hey,
stop them and score under 17 points. We're good.
yeah, I think it was a really good practice game. I think, like I said, we made the situations where we wanted to. The coaches got to see what they needed, and I think another player that did shine that I didn't mention is Julius Wood, safety.
Oh yeah,
We had
he
mentioned
was bringing
earlier
the wood.
was he was bringing the wood. If you guys remember, we signed him. I think it was like 2023, 2022,
Yeah.
maybe. We signed him as a UDFA. We brought him into camp. He got stolen from
Yeah,
us, and
left
then he
and then
came
came
back,
back. Yeah.
just like Isaiah Land, who got that sack at the end of the
Yeah,
game
Land who
too.
got the sack. Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing. Stolen by
Crazy, but
Indianapolis.
I'm thinking like Wood is the perfect replacement for our special teams ace because he's able to actually play a position of safety, but he was making some really good plays on the kickoff coverage too tonight. So keep an eye out for him, number 32. He's making a name for himself.
Yep. Anyway, so we just wanted to give y'all a little quick recap of the game. We won 17-7, but the score doesn't count. And our players look good. We had a few that look bad, and that's okay because the ones that look bad aren't people that we're counting on, or who can't be easily replaced by somebody else. So that was a good thing. I didn't hear anything. I saw one injury. Phil Moffa left with a chest injury. I didn't see anything else as far as major, like anybody was down on the field for a long time. Everybody was up. Like somebody might have had a little
No,
ding here and there, but that's
no blue
understandable.
tent visits.
Yeah,
No blue tent
no
visits
blue
like
tent,
Dart.
no roll the
We're gonna
card out, no nothing.
let's rename that to the Dart tent. Now I'm gonna start naming it the Dart tent, blue Dart tent.
That's it. We won't go there. But anyway, so overall, I'd say Arrow trending up after this game.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those. Oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. Hey, Arrow was trending up, which is what you want to see after OTAs, training camp, first
Mhm.
preseason game. It's a progression. You want to see that. So I think we're doing pretty good. I think we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think we the progression from the Rams um, practice to this practice. I think what did we play the Saints this week in practice?
Yeah, we practice
I
against the
think it'll.
Saints, and then we go to Arizona for a game. Then we play the Saints. It's kind of
So
weird.
so we're putting some helmets on some other teams this week.
Yeah,
Three in like 9 days. Three separate teams. So that'll be
that'll
exciting for
work.
our players.
Yep.
Pray for
Woo.
no injuries.
Yep. Second game next week. So
Do the
we'll let
no
y'all
injury dance.
marinate. Y'all let us know who y'all think helped themselves or who hurt themselves the most. Drop it in the comments and we'll discuss. All right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.